most of us lose a lot of energy because we keep looking out there for somebody to either approve of us or disapprove of us or guide us or tell us something because we haven't decided yet. And people will, I remember talking with my second teacher, Dr. Young. Let me backtrack. I got into this kind of work. You know it, right? Because I've had 3 months to live for 31 years, right? I had bone cancer. So I learned some Qigong. The Qigong got rid of the disease. And then I got to a place of now what? I got my life back, but everything that was important to me up to that point wasn't important anymore. Because I looked at something a little bit more serious. And looking at something more serious created a new ritual for me. I couldn't be asleep anymore. And I started to look at things and I said, you know what? All these things that I thought were important to me, that I thought I wanted, I don't care about. I didn't care if I had a prestigious job. I didn't care if I had a certain amount of wealth. I didn't care anymore, really, what anybody thought. So I knew what I didn't care about. My problem was I didn't know what I did care about. So I had this sort of crisis, right? So I go to my first teacher, who's kind of a Taoist, right? I say, hey, Tom, you know what? I'm in this thing. He says, yeah, I can't help you. Because he's a Taoist, you know? He's like, I'm not going to tell you. He's like, you need a Confucian. He happens to have a friend who's a Confucian. So he turns me over to Yang Jwing-Ming, and Yang Jwing-Ming says, oh, he's like, this is wonderful. I was like, what do you mean? I'm insecure and I'm depressed. He's like, isn't that great? He's like, because this is an opportunity. He's like, now you see where you are right now. He's like, you're not covering it up with anything else. And I was like, this feels terrible. And he's like, it should. He's like, because we want to motivate you. And he said, he's like, you just don't know what your values are. I'm like, yes, I do. And I started rattling off all these things that my parents taught me, and Catholic school taught me, and the media taught me, And I as I was telling him all these things, he says, well, do you live up to them every day? And I said, if I'm being honest, no, I don't. And he said, then they're not your values. You didn't choose them. He said, because if you chose them, you would have lived up to them. He's like, so if you're not living up to the person that you think you are, he's like, it's because you haven't decided yet. I love that kind of Confucian mindset, like very logical, right? He says, look, if this is what's going on, then you're not doing it. Okay. So he said, what happens from an energetic point of view, right, is this place, this energy in the cavity hasn't been fed yet, it's empty. And energy can't get there because it's covered by expectations or other people's ideas or other people's opinions. Or what I noticed at that particular time was it would be really easy for me to either have my feelings get hurt or for me to be offended. I was really good at it. It wouldn't take much, right? Somebody would say, oh, you're going to wear that? Why? What's wrong with this? Right? What do I care? Yes, I'm wearing this. What's your question? Why do I? But I cared about that. I cared about every little judgment that might come out there because this was empty. And so I didn't have a sense. I kept waiting for somebody else to tell me or reflect back to me what I imagined I was. And when they didn't reflect it back to me, I got angry or hurt or whatever, insecure about it. Because I didn't have anything here. And so he says the yin aspect of this part, and it really is in your abdomen, I'm not kidding. The yin part, he says, this is virtue or value, what they call de. Virtue or value. And those are things that we decide on that matter to us. And it's okay if you haven't decided yet, okay?